Okay, Coach Bill Self is here along with Hunter Dickinson and Dajuan Harris Jr. Coach, when you're comfortable, can you just start us off with some general comments about the game?
Yeah, obviously we didn't do a good job defensively, and they shot the ball so well early. That gave them some separation, and then we actually played pretty well probably for the next 20 minutes and 25 minutes, and then we didn't close. But we tried hard. I think we had, not an excuse because we put ourselves in that position, but that was a pretty quick turnaround after 4 guys played almost 40 last night, and so I just didn't feel like we had the energy defensively to keep them out of the paint. And obviously they shot the ball well, but where they really hurt us the most was at the rim, and they dominated the paint.
Okay, please raise your hand. We'll get a question. A microphone to you for your question. Got one here on the left, Coach, on the third row.
Sierra Blazer, Daily Wildcat, and this is for you, Mr. Self. What was the mindset going into tonight's game, and how was it different than going into Saturday's game?
I thought, that's a good question. I thought maybe Saturday we played more desperate. Last home game, senior day. I thought tonight I thought we tried hard, but I didn't feel like we played quite as desperate or with as much reckless abandon tonight as we did the Saturday.
Got to back up, no we don't. Let's go to the front row here on the right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Coach Self, Rob Collins, Fox affiliate here in Kansas City. You talk about the disparity in the paint and also in the bench scoring for those guys. What do you think led to that?
Well, the bench scoring deal is a little misleading because, but what was interesting, they had 6 different guys make threes. So they had balance, and we obviously didn't have as much balance. And, our bench delivered what we deliver? 6 points tonight. Was that right? Oh no, Diggy. I'm sorry. Diggy got 9, I guess, and Flory had 4. So we had 13. But we didn't when we didn't play the bench much. I didn't think the bench was very effective. To be honest, I thought their bench was obviously pretty effective, and there was no drop off when they went to it.
Let's go to the front row on the left.
Gary Bedore, KC Star. To the players, I think Arizona turned a 1-point game, outscored you 18-8 down the stretch. Some might figure it was fatigue. What do you think of that stretch to close the game?
I don't think you can blame fatigue. I mean, in this NIL era, we're paid to play, and so we got to be professionals out there and take it like a professional approach. You can't give that excuse. I think it starts with me. I got to be better for my team and give more energy. I feel like I let them down, especially defensively.
You'd like Dajuan to answer that as well?
Basically what he said, you can't make excuses. Especially against teams like that. You gotta play hard into the finish line. Arizona clearly wanted it more. So.
We got a question on the left here, about 7 rows back.
Ben Hook, University Daily Kansan. Coach, how do you think your guys' game plan and strategy was affected by having to go 45 minutes the night before?
I don't think the strategy was affected. Maybe the execution of it wasn't quite. But those are all excuses. I mean, the bottom line is we didn't make them play bad. And in order for us to be a good team, and when we played our best, we made our opponents not play very well. So that to me is the biggest thing. Scoring 77 points should be enough.
Let's go to the right side here, about 4 rows back.
Bill, just where do you feel like you are? What are the next few days like before you gear up for the tournament, and just where what you need to get accomplished for the next week?
Our league is really good. It would be hard to win the tournament playing 4 games in 4 days with basically playing 5 guys, or 6 guys. So that's not I'm okay with that. But I do think we need a couple of days to rest, and because we got a tired team. We've been riding the starters or at least 4 of them hard for a long time. So we could use a little rest. Now, I'd rather play tomorrow and not have rest, but it can also turn out to be an advantage for us going into next week.
Let's go over here to the left for Dennis Dodd.
Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. I was going to ask the same question. I'll just ask the players, where is the team's game at and where are your guys' heads at heading into the tournament?
Your head's you got to have high hopes going into the tournament because, you never know what will happen in March Madness. And, I believe in my teammates. I believe in my coaching staff. And, I feel like we can do it. We just got to take care of a couple things, get better on the defensive end like Coach said. And basically that's the main thing, the defense. So.
Yeah, I would say we're probably one of the more volatile teams in the country. I mean, when you look at it, we've played with the best in the country and been neck and neck with them and beat some of them, and then we've also been neck and neck with a lot of average teams. And so I think it just, depends on which Kansas team shows up. And, the blessing and the curse about these next couple games is you only got to be great for 40 minutes, and then you get another 40 minutes. And I think it starts with me. I mean, I can't go out there and play like I did today, or we're going to go home early. So I got to bring it, every game.
Got any other questions? Okay, we're going to go to one here on the front row on the left side, and then we'll come back to the one on the 7th row.
To the players, you addressed it a little bit, but in the 2 games, how would you assess your defense and where it stands today?
I would say, it starts with me. I got to be better in the ball screen coverage and then also one-on-one. I think I really let my teammates down with that. When you look at it, holding, their best player to 11 points, and then they're probably their second best player to 7 points. Going into that game, I feel like you'd be really confident in that, but I gave up too many baskets today, especially one-on-one, where I really let my team down.
To Coach, what do you think about a possible seed on Sunday?
I don't know enough about what they have us a 6 today. And so we certainly didn't help ourselves tonight, but we also lost to a team that's going to be probably a top 4 or 5 seed at the worst. So Arizona's good and they're talented and they're athletic and they have depth and they throw bodies. And the thing about their team, from my perspective, their success in large part will be determined how well they shoot the basketball. You start out 5 of 6 from 3. That was we couldn't keep up with that. But seed, I don't know. GB, there's still games to be played, but I would say that 6-7 line probably.
Let's go to the 7th row on the left.
For both the players, what do you guys think of Zeke Mayo's performance, and especially that stretch he had midway through the second half?
That's what we recruited him for. We believe in him. We know what he can do, and he keeps playing like that. We're gonna be in great shape. So scoring the ball wise.
Yeah, I just wish I could have did more to help him out. I feel like he was really carrying us out there, and I wish I could have did a little bit more for him to help out. Because he did have a really good game for us.
Vahi.
Bill, to Hunter's point about the volatility and which Kansas team shows up, is that a bit of how you feel in terms of what it's become?
I think Hunt hit right on the point. The thing that's what he said is true. Excuse me. And what he says, take more responsibility, that stuff. It's the same way with every one of our starters. Juan's got to feel the same way. Zeke's got to feel the same way. KJ's got to feel the same way. We don't have the depth to not feel that way, which I think makes our team look more volatile because when 1 or 2 of those guys aren't quite there, there's a big we don't have guys to come in off the bench and replace that. So I think Hunt's right on the point. But I think everybody needs to take that ownership that what Hunt's talking about because that's just the way it is this year. I mean, there's no other way that we're going to be this year.
With that,
I'm sorry. Thank
you. With that, I mean, is it at a point a little bit where you're not quite sure what you're going to get game to game?
think it's at a point where I'm concerned about what we're going to get. I would say there would be many times that I would be concerned about, can we score enough points? And is our defense good enough to keep a team under 70? Can we get to 70? Right now, we've scored points. We just haven't stopped guys. You know, even when we played Arizona, that was a good basketball game last Saturday. And you got to understand something. Arizona came rested, and they had all week to prepare for us and all that. So, I mean, they were ready to play. You could tell. Didn't you guys think it was a different energy they had? I mean, they came ready. I think what I'm most concerned about, what are we going to get on the defensive end? Because I think we got to make people play poorly in many ways when you're playing an elite team, which we're more than capable of doing, but we haven't done that consistently.
Okay, we got time for 2 more questions. First one will be here on the left side, about 8 rows back.
Coach, on that front, I'm sure you've tried every trick you know in the book to try to get the defense to be more consistent this year. Are you, I mean, at wit's end with it? What can you do at this point of the year?
Well, I think that we can do some things. I think a lot of it is, you know, if you're playing, if the Chiefs are playing and they need a great defensive effort and they've been on the field for 2/3 of the game and we need them to be great in the fourth quarter, it's a little bit harder to do. When the offense has the ball 2/3 of the game and you need to be great in the fourth quarter, it's a little bit easier to do because the energy and guys are turned up and flying around. I feel like that we don't create havoc in large part because I think we're fatigued sometimes. I think we play tired sometimes. So can that be corrected? I don't know if it can be corrected, but certainly we can. Hunt said it best. All right, we got to play well for 40 minutes, and then we can take 48 hours off, and we got to play well for 40 minutes again. And it's a 2-game tournament, and we've got enough gas in the tank to do that.
Okay, we got 1 more question. Anybody interested in it? Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck next week.